listen, y'all know me, okay? Y'all know who I am. And if you've been on this page long enough, sorry, you know that there are certain patterns we recognize on this channel. What's the vibe? What's the vibe here? Like, what's the vibe? What's the vibe here? Because my first reaction is just like, this is grifter bullshit. Like, that's my first reaction. But I'm telling you, with this thumbnail that says Netflix ruined Stranger Things and gaming is next, it just says gay, I feel like we're not going to agree on many things, but I'm always welcoming me being wrong. I'm always open to being wrong about this shit. Let's do the Nazi first.
Well, it seems like gamers.
All right, let's do this. This is the first time I ever watched this person's content. Literally got this donated, got this idea via donation. So I have no I do have preconceived notions, but I have no reference for this guy. So let's just see.
Are tired of killing Germans because the response to the announcement that Wolfenstein 3 is about to be released was rather tepid in comparison to this large franchise for Machine Games that has many successful predecessors.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And this is from someone who people complain about my editing style, which I leave too much dead air, which I think is more natural. Can I have a second to breathe? Like I'm what's happening here?
It seems like gamers are tired of killing Germans because the response to the announcement that Wolfenstein 3 is about to be released was rather tepid in comparison to this large franchise for Machine Games that has many successful predecessors.
5 cuts in 14 seconds. I don't like, I maybe I'm being pedantic, but buddy, I can't. 5 cuts in 14 seconds. You can flub a line, dude. I do that all the time. It's fine. I think people actually enjoy that. It makes you look more real and human. If every other word is a cut, buddy.
I think this goes back to what we've been seeing in the gaming industry these past few years when it comes to content that is coming out in the modern day times.
I'm going to ignore it.
Modern audience. I think this is what we saw glimpses of with the previous iterations of this game, where we saw some elements of the game that were rather inclusive, actually well made and produced, and a lot of gamers really like some of these elements. And we always saw this at the core of Wolfenstein, where you're fighting the German Empire, which is one of the most evil empires in history, according to a lot of historians. So
we don't have to add the according part, but yeah, like I think, because I was aware of this like controversy of potentially Wolfenstein 3. I think actually a lot of people were excited for this. A lot of people do want them to make this game immediately right now for obvious reasons. The people who don't want this game to be made, there's a reason why they don't want this game to be made.
We've been seeing this all across the media, fighting this great evil empire in almost every single fiction about World War II. And I think this is the element that may be tiring the gamer base, because what we've been seeing with the responses online have been diametrically opposed to what we usually see with the releases of Wolfenstein games. We usually see the excitement around it, but nowadays we don't see that excitement. We kind of see the bland response of people going, oh, another franchise that is probably gonna do a lot more harm than good. And I think that is the thing that we're seeing right now, where people are looking at the Wolfenstein franchise.
Okay, buddy, but you gotta start showing me.
And they're looking at the current state of the global political order, and they're thinking there's only one of two things this is going to be representative of in the modern day. The evil Germans are just going to represent any political faction that is against the current progressive liberal ideologies that are in control of the gaming industry. And that just means,
listen, I'm not going to make fun of the way some pronounces stuff, because I fuck up pronunciations all the time, unless they're super annoying. Then I'll make fun of them.
Anyone that doesn't agree with the progressive ideals that have captured the gaming industry. So you're going to be framed as a little German soldier in the 1940s that needs to be put down by these progressives. And you kind of saw this in the earlier versions of Wolfenstein.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to give people benefit of doubt, especially if I've never seen their content. But he's doing that thing I hate people do, when they go like, well, people are going to say, and then they just tell you their own opinions, but trying to mask it by saying, well, people are saying this. Like, at least show while you're talking about what people are saying, but this is like someone who hasn't played Wolfenstein. Like, there's only one way they can go with it. Modern time, buddy. Have you played Wolfenstein? It's always going to be fuck Nazis forever. Machine Games only does one genre, and they do it very well. And they're the only people who do this. And the genre is explicitly killing Nazis. Okay? Machine Games. This is killing Nazis. This is also beating up Nazis. This is killing Nazis. This is killing Nazis. This is killing Nazis. This is killing Nazis. Games they've collaborated on. Okay, cool. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, killing Nazis. Doom, kind of killing, I mean, not Nazis, but demonic creatures who are, you know, lacking humanity. Basically Nazis. But this is their career. They made an entire studio of killing Nazis. And people are like, hey, you guys kill Nazis so good. Please keep doing this. Please keep. There's a reason why they took on Indiana Jones. Why? Because he could punch and kill Nazis. I'm confident they are contractually obligated. Like, I'm sure their fucking message is where's their I'm sure the message is just like, we have to kill Nazis. If you want us to work on the game, they need to add we are a group of seasoned, passionate, and talented developers recognized for our unique creative vision, parentheses, to kill Nazis, and ability to fuse intense first-person gameplay with immersive narratives, parentheses, that involve killing Nazis, all within beautifully detailed worlds, parentheses, worlds which are littered with the bodies of the Nazis we've killed. They've killed studio values. We're always aiming at Nazis to create the best work, dead Nazis, environment possible where all the employees can thrive and prosper, parentheses, not the Nazis. Like, I joke, but I'm not joking. All of their games that you saw here, Nazis, and killing them in multitudes of ways. I'm not gonna front y'all. My first time playing Wolfenstein was 2020. No, sorry, not 2020. Was 2025. 2024. When Trump got elected, okay? I started playing Wolfenstein. And I was like, damn, I've been sleeping on this game. BJ Blazkowicz, the man that you are. Like, my dark woke king, BJ Blazkowicz.
Stein, where we got the
what? The section's called political overtones and Wolfenstein. Yeah, let's really break down the political overtones in the Wolfenstein series. Let's see what themes are being explored here. That's why this section's like 2 minutes. BJ Blazkowicz. Okay, just to give you a reference, in this scene right here, this is Wolfenstein 2. BJ Blazkowicz was in a fucking coma, okay? He was in a coma for way longer than a human being should be in a coma without losing any muscle mass. Do you know what brought him out of a coma? It wasn't the love and attention and the care of the nurse and the people around him. It wasn't that. Nazis break into this facility. Well, not break into, because they control everything. Nazis enter the facility, and because they are housing the undesirables, which is what happened in real time, like Nazis did in fact euthanize and execute people they consider undesirables, people with mental illnesses or different racial backgrounds or sexualities, right? They killed him. They killed him, right? They killed all of them. And then they were going to kill this nurse that he was falling for. And he comes out of a coma, and the first thing he does, this man has not wiggled his big toe in like 4 years. He hasn't used the bathroom unassisted. He wakes up to kill Nazis. My brother in Christ. The political overtones in this game is fascism is awful and it's okay to violently exterminate it, okay? BJ Blazkowicz was killing people in a fucking wheelchair. Like, he hadn't used his muscles. They atrophied, even though he was so jacked. Like, this man got his fucking body decapitated, put his head on a new body just to keep killing Nazis. The lengths that he goes to kill Nazis is honestly admirable. It's admirable. My dark woke king.
Elements of the modern day kind of seeping into this game, and I think I was okay with it from the initial playthroughs. I love the first Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein 2 was okay. It wasn't the best game ever, but it served its purpose. It had good gameplay. I think the story was well enough produced. But I think what we see from a lot of gamers' responses for this situation, they're looking at what's going to be directed at them from
what's going to be directed at them. This scene right here was already making fun of those weirdo Nazis in the present age from Wolfenstein 2. Like, what are we talking about?
Developers of these games, because it's being produced by people that hate the political faction that are against them, that literally call everyone that is against them part of a German evil empire. And I think that is
my tweaking, or is that not a swastika? Is this not the people who my brother in Christ, if you are trying to defend the people who might be offended by a new Wolfenstein game, gang, I'm going to tell you right now, you are not getting in that club. They also look at you and they look at me and they say they're both going to the fields. You don't want to do this, gang. You don't want to do this, gang. Like, this video should be like, yeah, people are being weird about Wolfenstein 3. And they're fucking weird for being weird about it, because that means you're like Nazis. Like, you titled this video, is Wolfenstein 3 about incel gamers, Trump, and immigration? Here we go again. If you are projecting this game being about incels, if you can see similarities between Nazis and the Trump administration and incels, that says more about the incels and Trump than it does about a game where they explicitly are killing Nazis and fascists. Like, you understand that, right? You understand that. Gang, I don't know if you're on some Clayton Bigsby type shit, but yeah. Listen, if you see someone with that uniform in real life, I'm going to give you some advice. Run to the nearest brick and hurl it at them.
the thing people are realizing with this situation. You're going to be called a fascist. You're going to be represented as the evil people in this game, and that's what gamers are expecting. And I think that's why we saw that tepid response to Wolfenstein 3 is in development. We already know where's the story going. We're going to be post-World War II. We still have that evil German empire, and it's going to probably have a leader like our current president. It's going to have all these arrests around immigration. We're going to see everything that's happening today.
Because that's what... Okay, we're going to just run this back real quick.
We're going to see everything that's happening today be represented in these arrests around immigration. We're going to see, and it's going to probably have a leader like our current president. It's going to have all these arrests around immigration. We're going to see everything that's happening today be represented in this game, and we're going to see ourselves being pointed at as a gamer, as the evil people that are supposed.
Hey. Hi. We're gonna call this History Corner. This is History Corner. It's TTBN Talks History. The Nazis did that shit. That's why you're seeing it. That's why the game that already came out, that already did that. That's why you're comparing it to now, because the Nazis back then did that shit, and the people who made the game were like, hey, this is some shit Nazis would do because they did that. So in our game, we're going to show Nazis doing Nazi shit, but you get the power fantasy of killing them because they're bad, because they're Nazis. But the Nazis were doing that shit. Do you remember when I talked about how they started the Wolfenstein 2 with Nazis entering a hospital, declaring it, basically condemned or whatever because the undesirables were there? They did that. Do you remember in the game where BJ's he goes to prison to find somebody who was a political prisoner because they were rounding up people and putting them in camps? Like the Nazis did this. The Nazis did this. And so if it's happening in our current time, right, it's because that is what Nazis did. That means our current administration is adopting Nazi strategies Like that's what's happening. It's not the game being like like if your interpretation is the game's going to look at the real world is happening as country and adapt that, and it's the same as what Nazis did in the real world, then shouldn't the conclusion be what we are experiencing right now is similar to what the Nazis did in Germany? Is that not like what? And also to say that this is representing of the gamers, I'm not a Nazi. I'm not sympathizing with Nazis. I'm not putting myself in the shoes of Mecha Hitler. Like, no, I would not be sympathizing with the Nazis. I'd be sympathizing with BJ and the inevitable resistance that he'll be a part of, because that's what the game wants you to do. You shouldn't be taking the Nazis in the game to represent fucking gamers. What are you talking about? History corner done. But how did we get here? I have so much work to do. Oh my God. Every time I think I'm making progress, you motherfuckers send me people like this, and I realize I've been screaming into a void.
Supporting this regime. And I think that's the thing gamers are feeling instantly. We already know the playbook of most developers in this modern age. They put the gamers as the enemy. And I think that's what
they put the gamers as the enemy. And this is just one person. This is what they do. They make the gamers enemies. This isn't oversimplification. The sentiment being expressed is that whites must acknowledge their privileged position and then actively work for equality. I'm not accusing you, myself, all whites of being Jim Crow racist. I also don't think anyone hearing it should immediately take it that way. Whites in America have always had an advantage in our social, economic justice systems because we're white. This is true. Like this is true. Pikachu wrote this shit, I think like 3 years ago at this point. Honestly, I hate gamers TM. Fair. You know how many videos I've made calling gamers fucking stupid? Because gamers were dumb. You know how many videos I've made of that? Fucking Steve Bannon knew how dumb gamers were and how easy they were to rile up, and he funneled them to the alt-right. Like, but again, if we were to take this at face value, he's saying they hate you guys. He has one person. And guess what her job was? Guess what her job was? You ready? Community manager. Prior to the people talking about Sweet Baby all the time, you did not know who the community manager was for any game because you didn't care. Because the community manager's job isn't anything to do with the actual product of the game, right? It doesn't. They could be a complete piece of shit. They could be the most wokest person ever. It has no impact on the game. You never cared about it. But now it's like, oh, but the community manager of this game says she doesn't like gamers. Okay. But be smart for a second. If she really hated gamers, do you think she would be taking on the role of a fucking community manager in the online gaming space? As a visible person of color? Do you think she would be doing that if she hated games and gamers? She said gamers TM. Again, but literacy is so fucking broken in this country.
Gamers are expecting. They were probably even gonna have a scene where they're killing a gamer that's supporting the regime.
Killing a gamer. Yes. Congratulations. You cracked what's going to be happening in this Wolfenstein game. Wolfenstein 3, they're going to break into people's apartments, see them playing PlayStation instead of Xbox, and string them up. That's what's going to happen in the next Wolfenstein game. You're right. You got it.
I think that is the thing that we're going to see in this future development. That's why I kind of feel sad for this game, where I'm like, another game probably going to be modernized to the point where it's just an attack against the gaming audience. They're going to frame the gamers as a fascist dictatorship or something that's suppressing a diverse group of progressive liberals that are trying to fight the fascist dictatorship and stop the immigration crisis of random people in the city. I already feel like we can know the story where it's going to go.
Hey, I have a question. It says that you're a game developer, right? It says that here. He says that to himself, right? Gaming streamer, game developer, and writer. What game are you developing, bro? Because now I'm curious. Now I'm curious. What game are you developing? What game are you developing when your thought process is Wolfenstein 3 is going to be about them killing gamers, framing gamers as Nazis, killing them, and then trying to stop them from oppressing people? Like, when people say words, do they not understand those words have meanings? And when those meanings are contradictory and don't follow logically, you sound like a fucking chatbot. Why would Wolfenstein 3, why would that be the story? This is just like when Vera Dark was talking about her fear of the Wolverine game being about him being woke and exploring his white privilege, while she's showing scenes of him viciously splitting people apart. Like, that was your takeaway from this? You watched this, you saw the Wolfenstein games, maybe you played Wolfenstein games, and your takeaway is, they're gonna make gamers the next enemy, aren't they? They're gonna say gamers are Nazis, and they're going to have them being killed in games, and they're gonna stop immigration. Which, by the way, judging by your accent, I think you benefited from immigration, right? So it's weird for you to play this character of like, hey gang, I'm one of you guys, I'm tired of this too. I don't want a game that's deal with immigration and all that shit. I think Vera's trolling. She's not trolling, dude. I think when people give the trolling excuse too freely, I'm like, let's hold people at their word. Unless it's blatantly obvious. They have a history of saying this shit, so I'm gonna say you believe it. Because that's what they want me to believe, so okay, you believe that shit. You believe dumb shit, like this.
Where it's being developed in this time. We know we're gonna have multiple lesbian, gay people, black people. The main character is gonna be put to the background, like he's gonna be an idiot in the background.
That never happened. That never happened. You're gonna have gay characters. You already had these characters in the Wolfenstein game. Like, did he not play these games? You're gonna have the main character push in the background. What are you talking about? Are you talking about Youngbloods? Like, because outside of Youngbloods, BJ Blast has been the main character. You can't push him to the background. He is the only person they send out on missions.
Probably his annoying daughters are going to be at the forefront. And I think this is another thing that has people not really excited before.
Okay, he hasn't played this game because he's saying he thinks his daughters are going to be in the forefront. So you absolutely, okay.
This game, the Youngblood expansion or DLC that had the two daughters of the main character was absolutely terrible. Specifically, the main daughters were annoying as hell. I was kind of rooting for the German Empire at one point because they were so annoying, them and their diverse team of people. I'm like, whoa, these people are annoying, and this game is so terrible. At least the DLC expansion for this, the Youngblood expansion, it was one of the worst games of the year that came out. So I can understand people seeing this game being so absolutely terrible with the messaging, with the modern audience trend at its forefront. And we already know this didn't even go as far as it could go because we still feel like we were fighting the German Empire, the German fascists from that time. So it wasn't that grating. It was like, oh.
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I thought I was a yapper. I thought I was a yapper. I thought I was King Yapper. He might take my crown. Bro was just talking. You're just talking. You're not saying anything. Of course you're still fighting the Nazis in Wolfenstein. That's it. That is the entirety of the game. That is it. Those are the enemies. That's it. And here's the thing too. I also said Youngbloods doesn't count. I didn't like Youngbloods. Sometimes you have misses. Okay. That doesn't mean they're going to continue with Youngbloods as the, like, it was DLC. What? They put out bad DLCs, so now it's going to be trash like 10 years later? They also put out Indiana Jones.
Okay, we're still not positioning the German fascists as modern day anyone against progressive liberalism and communism. So I'm like, okay, that would have been too much, but we know we're going to get that in the future. And we see the comments saying this, where we have people saying, hey, oh, Wolfenstein 3 is coming out. Oh, this is going to be about Trump. This is going to be about the current president. This is going to be about this and that. I'm like, oh, we already know they're going to make this like that. We're going to have a Trump leader that probably replaces the German leader. We already have all these elements they're going to do. There's probably going to be about immigration. It's probably going to have LGBTQ active.
Okay, so he's just repeating himself. He's just repeating himself. Like, he's just repeating himself. There's nothing new here. And also, of course, they were going to make a reflection of what's happening right now. Like, why wouldn't they? It's gold. There's a reason why they're developing it now. Supposedly rumored, right? Like, there's a reason why they're doing it now at this juncture. There's an audience for it. My mistake. Yeah, Youngbloods, you're right. It wasn't DLC. It was its own game. I play Youngbloods. I just didn't like it. But yes, there is an audience for it. This is why I always tell you guys to look at things holistically. This is why I've made it a very, very consistent point to talk about things from a political side. Because if you don't have that knowledge when you see shit like this, you end up like this guy. Do you know how unpopular Trump is and his administration is? Do you know how overwhelmingly unpopular they are? Do we have to bring out the poll numbers again? His approval rating is rock bottom as of literally today. Trump has firmly cemented his legacy as a peace president, have ended 8 wars, and he didn't end any fucking wars. Well, let's see his approval rating. Okay, his approval ratings have dipped to the lowest point since his re-election, according to polls. His net approval rating, the percentage of those who approve, is 38%, minus those who disapprove, 56%, stands at minus 18, the lowest point of his second term thus far. Some 6% of those surveyed in the poll said they were not sure. The margin for error is within 3 percentage points, right? So overwhelmingly unpopular, minus 19 points. 59% disapproval rating when it comes to his handling of the job. Well, let's see about hers. This is the head of the DHS, right? So she's in charge of ICE. The poll released on Tuesday found that 52% of voters disapprove of Nolan's handling of her job, up 50% in July. Up 50%. This administration is so wildly unpopular. So wildly unpopular. CNN Data Ace drops devastating numbers on Trump and ICE, losing the argument when it comes to the American people. Like, they are exceedingly unpopular. There is so much data to back up my point, right? So people want this. Like I talked to you guys before, normal people are not hyper online like this. But when they see what's happening in the real world, when they see 37-year-old mothers getting shot in the head, when they're seeing their neighbors being taken out by fucking Gestapo, yeah, it's going to make people feel a certain way. And so to capitalize on that, there's obviously an audience hungry for this. Of course, they're going to bring back Wolfenstein. Of course. You'd be dumb not to. They're just going to go triple platinum. You kidding? I think one battle after another popped off because people are mad, man. Like, people are pissed. Would you say this is the worst anti-woke you've seen? No, this guy doesn't fucking rank. Are you kidding?
Transgenderism probably have all these elements.
You see buzzwords.
Already can write the script for this story, and it's kind of sad and depressing when you can do that for a piece of art. And I think that's the thing people are noticing. And plus, we have the other part. Also,
I love the fact that he's saying it's depressing. You can write the story. He's making shit up. He's making shit up. This is a rumor. They could be literally not even working on Wolfenstein 3, which I think would be a mistake, but they could be not working on it. They released nothing. And he's like, they're going to have trans people. He's hallucinating what they're going to have in this game and then getting upset about it preemptively.
Of this coin where we have people that are like, I don't really care about Germany in World War II. We done it to death. In fact, I just don't care about anything related to this story. Some people are even saying going to those extremes. So we have kind of a cultural shift.
What does that have to do? What does what he's saying have to do with the image on the screen? I hate that shit. You guys know I hate when people have unrelated B-roll footage. He's telling Grok to narrow his eyes and say that's what a Jewish person would say. I don't like saying the abbreviation. I'm just weird that way. But like that's what a Jewish person would say in Arial font with a thin black outline at the bottom of the image. Like, what does that have to do with what he's saying?
This World War II history too. So some gamers are just so young and far removed from World War II that just don't care about the history surrounding it. Or two that just don't care about the history. Some kind of a cultural.
I need you to listen to this. I need you to listen to this, please.
Shift around this World War II history too. So some gamers are just so young and far removed from World War II that just don't care about the history surrounding it. So
some gamers are far removed from World War II. Hey Grok, when was World War II? 1939 to 1945. How long ago was 1945 from 2026? Because I don't know how to do numbers. Yeah, gang. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that some gamers are far removed from World War II. This game, though, takes place in like the 60s, which is at that point like 20 years removed from World War II. Do you know that there are gamers who play games like fucking Civ? Like, does he get upset? Does he get upset when people play Civ? Because this games were talking a lot about conquest and imperialism, and people are so tired of it. Some gamers were just really far removed from the Battle of Constantinople. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, dude, I'm not 86 years old, but I can still play Wolfenstein, much like I wasn't born in the year 0, but I might fuck around with an Assassin's Creed game or two. Like, what is that argument? People are tired of history. Not if they keep playing these games, obviously. This isn't, first off, an alternate history. Why would they be tired of this? You have people nowadays who are like, man, let's post like it's 2016. People are yearning to go to the past. What are we talking about?
So whatever's happening, they're just not tied to it. They don't feel the same emotional impact. So Wolfenstein and its preaching is just not going to be as effective as it.
Also, I know I'm pausing a lot, but also this is a huge contradiction. You just said that the current game that's going to come out is going to focus on the modern day. So why would it now suddenly be like, these people aren't going to be able to relate to it? It's shit happening right now, right? Like, am I wrong for saying that? He was just talking about how these games are going to be made for the modern audience, woke and yada yada, have trans people and yada yada yada. So it's going to be taking place today. So then why would people feel so far removed from it when it's shit happening today? You even said they were going to talk about immigration. That is a today issue. I mean, it's been an issue forever, but that is a today issue. Why would that feel too far removed? Like, you're not even consistent in your own video that you supposedly edited.
For an older generation of gamers.
Older generation.
I think that's lending to maybe the disinterest that's happening with this game, where people are just going, I'm tired of playing this sort of game. I already know it's going to be redirected and I'm going to be represented as the evil person. You're going to make me, the gamer, a fascist dictatorship. You're going to make me the person that's killing people. You're going to make me representative of all of that. We saw this with all of entertainment. Anything that is related to the evil fascist dictatorship is immediately tagged to a political group that is against the progressive liberal order. So this is what people are expecting. We're expecting a new version of Wolfenstein, except this time the gamer is the enemy. The gamer is the fascist.
Okay, this is just, okay, I'm done with this video. It's just repetition. It's just repetition. But I'm curious. Now you guys have got, you had my curiosity. But now you have my interest. I want to see. Okay, I said I was going to do another one. Oh, I didn't even read the comments on one video. Whatever, it's fine. Actually, no, I want to see the comments.
It seems like
how many times have we heard the same words thrown at gamers? Incel this, Nazis that's getting old. My brother in Christ, he's the one who's throwing it at you. Like, he's... Now I know which game to avoid and which studio to bankrupt. Yeah, Steven, you have so much power. You're going to bankrupt Machine Games. Good job, bro. Oh my God, this is so funny. Wait, I want to see... did women ruin gamings? Or has he... Wait, you want... Is it women ruin gaming? Or, oh my... Wait, Anita Sarkeesian? No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way.
we all saw it happen.
No fucking way. We're still doing Anita Sarkeesian in 2026?
Happening in the gaming industry, but none dared call it a conspiracy. Even me myself thought, hey, this is just the natural progression of things. We should see a couple lesbian characters here, non-binary characters here, transgender characters over here. But when seeing gay characters as the main focus for a lot of these AAA titles for this past decade, a transition from having a predominantly male-focused intention with video games, it becomes more obvious than ever.
What the fuck does that mean? A male-focused attention? Who do you think the gay men are? What just off rip? Horrible premise.
A transition from
also to be like, we were okay with them existing in the periphery, but now that their games are making them more and more prominent, me don't like it.
Predominantly male-focused intention with video games, it becomes more obvious than ever that, hey, this might be a conspiracy.
Yeah, you know one thing men have always historically hated? Women making out. That's one thing men have always hated. Seeing two girls tongue wrestle. Men have always hated that. There's in fact no genre of a certain adult materials that focus on that. They all hate it. All straight men hate women making out.
See, and now we're getting facts that prove that statement to be true, that the conspiracy of game developers trying to push an agenda towards the gamer and player base by imposing these relationship standards that have kind of taken over a lot of video.
Besides the one with Ellie, all these ones you showed are optional.
Game titles that have been coming out this past few years, it's become obvious now and undeniable that, hey, there is a concerted effort to make gaming only for the gays. And I think that is the thing a lot of gamers are still doubting. Even me, myself, as I make this video, I'm like, hey, it can't be true. But we're getting statements from community managers. We're getting statements from game developers saying, hey,
community
this is the real
managers.
state of gaming. And a lot of gamers are just simply not aware of the situation. And I think that's the thing a lot of people are understanding. I
love how all these things become situations, right? Gamers aren't aware of the homosexual situation. This sounds like one of those old videos like in 1950s. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my God, you guys, an innocent gamer is going to be hit with gayness. Oh no.
When Bobby recognized the stranger as the man in the restroom, the
no gamer
under the pier didn't seem like a good idea at all.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. He almost caught that gamer. He almost gave him the gay.
After all, it's more fun to stay with your friends anyway. Bobby had made a wise decision. It may have saved his life. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he is mentally ill.
Oh, yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
They're just thinking, hey, oh, this is just the fourth Samurai video game coming out within the past 3 years, and all the main characters happen to be in lesbian relationships. And I think that is the thing that is breaking the mold for a lot of gamers, where now they're questioning what's happening in the gaming industry, and we're getting answers from people within the industry that are.
What happened with the gaming industry, you guys, is they went under the bridge. They went under the pier, and the industry got gay. It got so gay. All these things, all these optional things they're showing here, mandatory. The fact that they're even options in games is a problem, honestly.
Stating the obvious, saying, hey, this is a concerted effort that we have within the employee offices, where we have marketing managers, advertisers, community managers going to the developers saying, hey, you should put this in there, and flirting with some of the developers, which may bring up image of Gamergate if you're a gamer that has been.
Yes, you guys, that's what happens. That's what happens. Community managers and PR agencies and all those people who are hired by the industry, who are hired by a particular company, they tell that company, add the gays in this. That's how this works. That's how consulting companies work. You contract them and they tell you you have to do this, and you don't have a choice. I hope he brings at least a shred of evidence to back up that claim.
Within the industry for a while, you know, that is reminiscent of the controversial event that changed gaming into what it is today. And I think that's what people are seeing, with some comments coming from community managers saying they're flirting with developers, they're trying to bully some developers, they're engaging with developers with all intents and purposes to get their political agenda within the video games that are coming out, even dating and maybe even going further with some of these developers, kind of honeypotting them to make the gaming industry more reflective of their political agenda.
That's true. When we had our annual woke meetings, we do train them. We train people to honeypot. We do. During our DEI seminars, we have seduction 101 classes. It's mandatory for women, by the way. Sorry. We're not that woke, but we do that in order to get them to make things more gay, to put more people of color in the games. We do that. It's part of our training. It's in the manual. We've adopted the practices of Vietnamese spies in the Cold War.
And that's what people are seeing happening on X right now, where we hear comments from community managers saying, I spend every waking day of my time within the video game industry. As not a developer, they're probably in marketing and advertising, saying that.
This is a real statement from someone not joking. All I do at work is befriend everyone on the writing team so I can then get them to make every character gay every time it's feasible to bring up. More often you think. If you think this isn't about you affection, yes it is. It's called direct action. Yes, this is real. This is real. This person, this is real.
A team of people around them throughout the industry that are trying to influence the gaming industry to move in this direction by putting in random gay characters here, random lesbian characters here, refocusing race swapping characters, trying to engage the development community for video games to actually change the whole scope of video games that are coming out. And it kind of makes sense if you see what's been happening in the gaming
He's so based for this
years with a lot of titles, where you have a comment coming from a person that is a known community manager that's saying, known community managers, everyone on the writing team, so I can tell them to make every character gay every time. It's feasible to bring up more often than you think. If you think this isn't about you, yes, it is. It's called direct action. This is a person talking to other colleagues within the field saying, hey, this is how we engage with these fields of community, where we engage with them. Some even in the comments saying we flirt with them. We actually try to be in relations with them, trying to get them.
No, of course they flirt with them. These people are sick. And they're always going to push their agendas in there. And that's why these games flop. Because instead of making games for guys that would like them, they want to make everything gay. It's true. It's true. It's true.
On our team to actually develop gaming in a certain direction. And if you're hearing this quote and you have a stinging feeling reminiscent of Gamergate, yeah, that is the case. This is the same thing we saw explode with Gamergate 10 years ago, where we had these female game developers that were sleeping with game reviewers to get good reviews. And this is the thing that blew up Gamergate, where gamers are mad saying, hey, you're trying to influence and change the rating systems. And of course,
they were. That's true.
Back at the gamers' face, called them misogynistic, and they invaded the gaming space even more so, putting in more people
that did they invaded. That's true.
Change the video games. And that's where we had people like Anita Skarsgård emerge that advocated.
God, I couldn't keep that bit up anymore. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Whom? I muted on accident. Whomst?
Mystic, and they invaded the gaming space even more so, putting in more people in the development space to change the video games. And that's where we had people like Anita Skarsgård.
Anita Skarsgård. Yes, I was doing a bit, by the way. If you guys didn't pick up on that, some of you did. You're smart. But Anita Skarsgård, literacy is important, you guys.
That advocated for the overall change of the gaming industry to be reflective of their personal values. They joined CD Projekt Red. They joined gaming communities like Naughty Dog, advising on The Last of Us 2, the much maligned Last of Us 2, which is one of the most disrespected games, changed the direction of Naughty Dog and a lot of Sony properties, where they started producing terrible content that was just simply unrealistic and unengaging to the...
Unrealistic, unengaged. Okay, first and foremost, I'm not being classist, by the way. If you caught my other part of this video, I was defending his pronunciation of Wolfenstein. But Anita Skarsgård is that you did an attempt. But I was doing a bit, so just to come up with, to make my actual analysis here. This is bullshit. It's nothing here is true. Nothing here makes sense. He's talking about Naughty Dog as if they haven't become wildly successful. He's like, oh, well, now they made things unrealistic. Yeah, now Naughty Dog's unrealistic because of the Last of Us series and not the Uncharted series. You're right. Oh yeah, it's unrealistic for them to get beaten up by this woman, but it's totally realistic for Nathan Drake to do literally anything he does and survive. That's what I was talking about earlier when I say these people hold these dogmas that are not consistent. Like, oh, it's not okay for Nathan Drake to get his ass kicked by a woman, because that could never happen in real life ever. But yeah, he could take out a small army. like I ignored most of this parts, but like the whole thing with Anita, it's been done to death. You even mentioned that this was 2014. That was 12 years ago. Gamergate was 12 years ago. And while we are still dealing with its unfortunate aftermath, to still be focused on Anita Sarkeesian is insane. It's insane.
Like Anita Skarsgård emerged that advocated for the overall change of the gaming industry to be reflective of their personal values.
And here's the thing. What they do is they use this broad language, like for personal values. What were those values, though? Because a lot of you grifter asses also want the video game industry to align with your own personal values, which is typically involves in the removal of LGBTQ people, the reduction of roles of people of color, and the focuses on white straight males and big titty women. That's what you want. That aligns with your personal things. So why is that okay? Her personal beliefs, her execution, I don't think was that fucking great, to be completely honest. I wasn't Anita Sarkeesian's biggest fan, but I understand what her intention is, because of course that's her intention. Talking about sexism. Of course there's sexism in gaming. Of course. Just like there's racism, just like there's bigotry, because people are making these things and people are part of societies, and societies has these issues. Like, I hate when gamers act like gaming was a perfect, pristine culture that had no issues at all. But then these fucking minorities and women came and made everything lame and woke and this and that. It's like, no, dude. You guys were able to be awful, toxic people to each other because the worst situation you had was girls don't like me. You weren't part of any sort of marginalized community outside of I play fucking D&D and watch anime. So when those things weren't considered a negative, you also engaged in the very same things that made you ostracized to begin with. And you did that to other people who you could do it to feel better about yourselves. Gaming has always had that problem. As open and inclusive as gaming is due to skill level and entry levels, it has always had that issue. It has always had that issue. And gamers, more than I would say fucking like movie fans, like Star Wars fans, have the most fragile sense of self-identity. It is so fragile that someone making a valid criticism, whether you like them or not, causes you to fucking obsess over them 14 years after the fact. Anita Sarkeesian isn't even in the public eye. And they get mad that they have jobs still. Because guess what? if they were really that bad and really that toxic, no one would involve themselves with them, right? Your perception of these people is not reality. It's not. Anita Sarkeesian's whole thing could be summarized as such. She, a self-proclaimed gamer, which you cannot doubt someone's ability to play games with interesting games, was noticing a trend of overt sexism in gaming. 100% true. Now, her approach to that, not the best approach. Me personally, I didn't like her approach. I still like her approach. I think it was still too short-sighted. But again, that was her whole thing. That's it. If you want to make it even more basic, because I guess reading is literacy is bad, too many big words. Anita Sarkeesian said that there's sexism in gaming, and people lost their shit. And then people were like, hey, you know what? Anita's actually correct. There is lots of sexism in gaming. And then gamers continued losing their shit. To the point where Gamergate, with the ethics in game journalism, quickly devolved into showing nude photos of people who they didn't like and saying that these are whores and they're ruining gaming. You got to that point like that, because it was never about ethics. They bring up Anita Sarkeesian as a shield for criticism, but no, she's like he won't, I promise you, he won't get into the actual minutia of what her argument was.
Join CD Projekt Red. They join gaming communities like Naughty Dog.
Join CD Projekt Red. What happened to CD Projekt Red? Did CD Projekt Red go under? Did not made a successful game now? No follow-up on that? Oh, they joined Naughty Dog. Is Naughty Dog not one of the biggest, most critically acclaimed gaming studios out there?
On The Last of Us 2, the much maligned Last of Us 2, which is one of the most disrespected games, changed the direction of Naughty Dog in a lot.
One of the most disrespected games, that means nothing. Changed the direction of Naughty Dog in what sense? In what sense? Is it making it better, worse? I know it's implied to be making it worse, given your cadence, but you're not giving any details, dude.
A lot of Sony properties where they started producing terrible content that was just simply unrealistic and unengaging.
Terrible content. Can I just check something real quick? Terrible content, huh? Uncharted 4. Terrible content. 93 must play based on 113 critic reviews. 17,000 user reviews, generally favorable. But you said this was what again?
Started producing terrible content that was
terrible content. Terrible content.
Was just simply unrealistic and unengaging to the gamer and player base. And I think this is what we see with so much titles that are coming out right now, where they're being made in a perspective that is just not in line with the gaming community that is out there. And I think that's the unfortunate part that we're seeing playing out here. We're seeing that same Gamergate tactic being used within the game development sphere in different parts, where we have marketing managers, we have advertising departments, we have community managers.
Show me any proof of what you're saying. This is all I ever asked them to do. Because I do that. I will show proof. If I'm live streaming, I will go to and show proof. Or if I'm editing, I will show you the proof of my claims. These are bold claims to just make.
The gaming community that is out there. And I think that's the unfortunate part that we're seeing playing out here. We're seeing that same Gamergate tactic being used within the game development sphere in different parts, where we have marketing managers, we have advertising departments, we have community managers, people.
He showed what he assumed and wants us to assume as a community manager. So I'll give him that one. I saw Inglourious Basterds recently. I'll give him that one, right? He has not shown anything else to back up his other claims. And those are the bigger claims. You're saying he has marketing. You have marketing.
Different parts where we have marketing managers, we have advertising departments.
Marketing managers and advertising departments saying this. Where?
So we have community managers, people that are tangential to the process of making games. They're coming out and influencing the game devs themselves.
He just said these people were tangential. If they're tangential to it, then they're not important. Like,
it's the writing team, the staff, and you can see this at every level for a lot of these game developers. You can go back to see what happened with Warhorse Studios.
Warhorse, now mind you, you want to know why he clipped his top part out? Because this is from that Park Place. This is John F. Trent. If you know anything about John F. Trent is a fucking hack. The person this is the headline that any reputable news site would never fucking run, dude. Would never run that. Sweet Baby Inc. infected? Like, that's... This also is not fucking news. They're just... On my birthday. This isn't news. These guys are not serious people. He writes for them and he writes for Bounding into Comics. That's it. That's it. Rachel Zegler's Hunger Games performs worse than Brie Larson's The Marvels. Unless you're Variety and you're talking about Sinners, you would never fucking write this. Like, this is not a serious writer. Kotaku in action, anti-woke journalist John Trent lies. That is the source he is going to when he talks about Warhorse Studios run to woke PC gamer to claim they are fed up of being in the culture after they turn him into a sodomite, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Just from that headline. And this headline worsens his argument. But like, this right here makes his argument weaker, not stronger.
And Kingdom Come 2, where they changed the entire gender preference for one of the main characters, and you can probably say there's the influence of the game reviewers and consultancy class, but you can say it's probably the people they hired too from the marketing and community managers, because this...
How would this be the marketing community managers? Daniel Vavra is literally on the anti-woke side. He is Gamergate. He is Gamergate, and the queer romance in this game for the upteenth time. You have to intentionally... You can literally... How to romance him. There are few opportunities to flirt with Hans during the campaign. These are technically missable if you don't select the right dialogue option. So you have to have known the correct dialogue option. This is completely missable. It's optional. It's optional. It's optional. You have the option. You have the option, dude. They didn't make him a sodomite. You chose to make him gay. And like I always say, if the option of having the choice to be a sexuality that you normally do not, engage in, right? If you are a straight male gamer and you are feeling uncomfortable because there is an option to be in a same-sex relationship, those are your demons you need to fight.
This is something we see with a lot of titles that have come out this past few years. You can see it with Helldivers 2, where the game devs for Helldivers 2 were highly based. They're really true gamers, but the community managers were the opposite. They were trying to change the game itself with their statements on Discord. And I think that's the thing that we keep seeing with the community managers, the marketing team. They're trying to change what the game is outside of the video game itself, even though the video game is not representative of those ideals. And I think
Helldivers is representative of those ideals, man. What are you talking about? Helldivers 2 is a fucking satire on fascism. You're the bad guy.
That's the thing we keep seeing within the gaming community, where they try to change the perception of the game. And once they do that, they're going to change the game itself. This is what we saw with Spider-Man 2. That game was completely changed with the second iteration of the game, where they completely changed even Mary Jane, her look, where
This is so fucking stupid. This is such a stupid... I'm skipping this part. I've done this argument so many times. If you think this was because of community manager, you can't be saved. You can't be saved. I'm so sorry. And now he's going to like the Yorch Torch fucking examples of saying they're changing all these things. This isn't fucking Spanish. Jesus Christ.
Are being tricked into this situation, being manipulated. I think that's why we see most of our AAA titles coming from Sony becoming more gender swap oriented.
Gender swap. Ratchet and Clank, you can play as both characters. The Last of Us, Ellie was always a central character. Ghost of Tsushima, you got one game with Jin Sakai. And this with Nathan Drake, and now there is no now. Okay, this was a different game than this one. He is the main character of the entire series. This is a spin-off title. This is so stupid.
More unfocused. We saw this with Ghost of Yote. We see it with so much other titles. And it just makes you think, hey, the gaming industry might be in a manipulated situation where they're just being led by the nose by these random parts of their community that really have no interest in the gaming world.
Yeah, dude, led by random parts. These multi-million-dollar companies with these giant bloated budgets are just letting random fucking marketing execs being like, hey, dude, can you make this chick the main character? I'm a C-suite executive. I have no idea how games work, but make them black. Like, make him black, dude. Make him black. Make him a woman now. And just figure it out. Because that's how multi-billion dollar companies work. That's how multi-million dollar companies work, dude. They just have random people showing up. Like, yeah, you walk to the door, you have a suit. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll do what you say.
World have more political agenda, and I think that's the thing that we're seeing playing out right now in the video gaming industry. Of course, there's other things that are influencing it. There's definitely the investment firms like BlackRock and Vanguard and consultancy firms, but I think this is one of the 5-prong approaches to influencing the gaming industry, where these people have a constructed system of trying to change these elements of gaming, and we're seeing it play out. And I think as a gamer, you have to have this in mind that, hey, the fight for having good games never ends, because these people are...
At no point did he even scratch the concept of the quality of the games mentioned. At no point. All of the games he's shown are good games. Every single one of these games are good games. Every single one of these games are good games. These are franchise longs. All these games are good. Critically acclaimed, financially successful games. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He used Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which outsold the first game. People were saying that should have been the #1 RPG of the year. People were big on that game. And he's saying that these are bad games because there's gay people in it. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. And then you know what's so funny? They say this shit. Does he have anything to say about Code Violet? He has something to say about game being ruined forever. He's something to say about Amazon Why Mom. I don't think I can do it in the video because I feel like there's nothing different he's gonna say, right? Like, I doubt his content and research is gonna change over the course of 3 days from this video. Amazon's Wine Mom Lara Croft has been revealed and gamers are not happy. I can't do this, dude. You guys are probably completely... Whoever sent me that dono, I want you to know something. Who sent me that donation to cover this guy? Oh, I can see it. Joe, if you're still in here, I will never forgive you for introducing me to this. I already have so many guys recognized. Like this, you just added to my pile. Oh, thank God. Thank God it did not completely fuck up my algo. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Ooh. Okay. Yes. You see this. You come onto your page, you see this, and you're like, hell yeah, baby. I want to watch this 10-minute video about gaming being ruined. I want to watch this video about Netflix ruining Stranger Things and being gay. James Bond is one step closer to being a butch lesbian after the first light reveal. Like, you're like, yeah, dude, this is the information that I want. This is what gets me fucking going. Like, this is, and it's the same format. It's just random B-roll footage and a guy complaining about shit. And as a guy who loves complaining about shit, at least put some effort.